Start your engines!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lanier National Speedway. I'm Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing Network, bringing you today's feature event in the Tyler Daniels Racing League of Legends. Tyler Daniels Racing is an inclusive racing community that welcomes all regardless of history, ability, or background. TDR is a charitable organization with a focus on assisting and helping others. We've worked closely with the Wyoming County Animal Shelter, the Iowa Food Bank, with individual members to provide opportunities and to support American troops at home or abroad. Tyler Daniels Racing is a community. We help each other in iRacing and in life. Tyler Daniels Racing prides itself on clean, intense, competitive racing leagues that focus on iRacing itself, whether it's asphalt, dirt, road, oval, short track, super speedway, NASCAR, IndyCar, Legends car, sprint car. If you're interested in iRacing, Tyler Daniels Racing has something for you. If you'd like to learn more, search out tylerdracing.com or go to Facebook and find Tyler Daniels Racing. Today's race, 80 laps from Lanier National Speedway, about twice the length of a regular iRacing feature event. Let's have a look at the starting grid. Starting in the 19th spot in car 04, that's Les Bentz. Les races out of Springfield, Missouri. Starting in the 18th spot in car 118, that's Dennis Stepanich Jr., Dennis from the Mountain West region. In the 17th starting spot on the grid, in car number 7, racing out of Brownstown, Indiana, it's Andy Shainer. Starting in the 16th spot, in the My Little Pony Legends car, car 71, Keith Fonseca, Keith from Virginia. Starting in the 15th position, racing out of Ocean City, New Jersey, in the Thrustmaster Legends car, it's car 28, Jim Downham. Starting 14th in car number 310, he races out of the Carolinas region, sponsored by iRacing, it's Joey Lowry. In the 13th starting spot in car number 13, it's Jonathan Humphrey from New England. In the 12th spot in car 77, racing out of Georgia in the Poppin' Chubby's Legends car, it's Kevin Blackburn. Starting 11th in car number 05, the Kenny Wallace Racing Experience Legends car of Parnelli Belair, Parnelli from Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, your top 10 starters. Starting 10th on the grid, in car 96, the Trackmaster Sellers Insulation Legends car of David Trumbley, David from Toledo, Ohio. In the 9th starting spot, in car number 19, the Gravedigger Tribute car of Dominic Moss, Dominic from the Mountain West. Starting in the 8th spot, in car 57, that's Jim Love, the Suicide Prevention Lifeline car, Jim from Kannapolis, North Carolina. Starting in the 7th spot in car 16 from Long Island, New York, it's the OVR engineering car of Fish Fisher. In the 6th starting spot in car 25, the 600 Racing Legends car of Tyler Daniels, Tyler from Warsaw, New York. In the 5th starting spot in car 35, from Hampstead, North Carolina, the VRS Racing Legends car of Jim Matherly. Starting 4th in car number 2, that's the BAMF Racing car of Adam Ricci, Adam from McAllen, Texas. Starting 3rd in car 00, the Mount Vernon Auto Supply Napa car of Aaron Johnson, Aaron from Bailey, Colorado. Starting 2nd, Eric Steele in car 320, that's the BTRC Hobbies car from New England, and on the pole from Dorset, England, that's car 363, Lee Walker, the Mythos TGR Nation car. Walker leads the field past the green. We are underway at Lanier National Speedway. Lee Walker jumps out to a quick early lead. Walker pulls about a 2-car length advantage over the 32 of Eric Steele. Eric will show up on your telemetry as car 320, but on the screen as car 320. Lee Walker pulls out to a larger lead now, extending that lead to about 3.5 or 4 car lengths. Adam Ricci looks to the outside of the 32 of Eric Steele. Ricci on the outside, Steele on the inside. Caution! Caution on the speedway. Don't know what's happened here. We can see that we've had at least a couple of different incidents just kind of listening to the sounds that we see here. So we're going to have to take a look and see if we can get some video of what brought out this caution. It looks like maybe it's the 57. 57 of Jim Love spins, collects the 28 of Jim Downham. It's the Jim and Jim show. Bad luck for Downham. Love spun. And it sounded like there might have been another event underneath that caution. Let's see if we can't take a look at that as well. Yeah, it looks like that after the caution flew, the 35 of Matherly and the 25 of Daniel got together. Daniel collecting the 16 of Fisher. We're 3 laps, well now 5 laps in. We are under caution at Lanier National Speedway. We're focused here on the 2 car of Adam Ricci. It is the 363 of Lee Walker that continues to lead. The 57 of Jim Love looks like the last car on the lead lap. He's behind the pace car right now. I would expect Love to get the wave around and to come back around to catch the rear of the field. Little action early at Lanier National Speedway. Lee Walker with the lead, Eric Steele second. Adam Ricci third. Adam, we call him the psychic because of his ability to predict what's going to happen on a racetrack. Aaron Johnson running fourth. Jim Matherly in fifth. Fisher currently shown as sixth with Parnelli Belair seventh. Dominic Moss eighth. David Trumbley has worked his way into the ninth spot. And Kevin Blackburn rounding out the top 10. Trumbley currently second in the League of Legends point standings behind Aaron Johnson, your point leader. Lee Walker in the 363 car. Walker from Dorset, England, leads the field out of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway. The green flag is out. It is Lee Walker with the lead, followed by the 32 of Eric Steele, then the 2 of Adam Ricci. Behind Ricci, it's Johnson, Matherly, and Fisher. Those are your top 6 cars. Out front, Lee Walker running a nice smooth line out of turn 4, lets the car drift up a little high. Continues to lead behind Walker. That's the 32 of Steele, putting a little pressure on Walker. Eric Steele racing out of New England. Steele in that blue BCRC Hobbies car. Steele being followed by the 2 of Adam Ricci. Ricci from McAllen, Texas, originally from Maine. Adam Ricci, one of the leaders here, currently leading the Tyler Daniels Racing IROC points, the International Race of Champions that highlights the best drivers across all of Tyler Daniels Racing's 12 different leagues. Behind those cars, it's the 00 of Johnson. Johnson running the Ramey Johnson Tribute paint scheme on the Legends car this week. Johnson out of Bailey, Colorado. He is your current League of Legends point leader. It's a small gap then back to Jim Matherly. Matherly in the VRS racing car out of North Carolina. And just behind him, Fisher. Fish running the OBR engineering car. Fish runs a developmental league for drivers interested in learning more about the Legends cars. Behind Fisher, it's David Trumbley, who's worked his way into the 7th spot from the 10th starting position. Trumbley in that 96 Sellers Installation Trackmaster racing car, currently second in the points in the TDR League of Legends. Behind Trumbley, it's the 19 of Dominic Moss. Following Moss, that's the 77 of Kevin Blackburn, the Poppin' Chubby's barbecue car. Blackburn out of Georgia. Behind Blackburn in the 10th spot, that's the 7 of Andy Shainer. Andy's nickname Grandpa Marshmallow. And behind GPM, we've got the 310 of Joey Lowry. Lowry coming to us out of the Mountain West region as well. Just behind him, it's the man himself, Tyler Daniels in the 25. Daniels having pitted earlier due to some misfortune under caution that involved both him, the 35 car of Matherly, and the 16 of Fisher. Behind them, it's the 05 of Parnelli Belair. Parnelli running 12th, just ahead of the 118 of Dennis Stepanich. Right behind those 2 cars, the hot pink My Little Pony Legends car of Keith Fonseca. Fonseca currently sits in the 14th spot. Behind them, it's Jim Downham in the 28. Downham, that Thrustmaster Legends car. Downham running out of Ocean City, New Jersey. And behind Jim Downham, the 57 of Jim Love. Love with an early spin after he had some issues with a shifter, causing him to have some problems on the start here on lap number 3. Behind the 57, that's the 13 of Jonathan Humphrey, and it looks like we've got caution on the speedway again. Caution on the speedway. Looks like something to do with the 19 car. There's the pace car. We'll be back around to Lee Walker. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to bring out caution number 2 here at Lanier National Speedway. Take a look. We can see the 19 of Moss on the inside. Looks like the 16 of Fisher gets loose, comes down into Moss. Both cars hard into the outside wall. Fortunately, everyone else able to go by on the high side. So Fisher and Dominic Moss involved. Well, under caution, let's have a look at the points here in the TDR League of Legends. We take a look at the points after 2 weeks. Aaron Johnson leads by 5 points over David Trumbley. Looks like Eric Sellers is in third. Sellers did not make the starting grid today. Behind him, it's the Anthony Hooker in fourth, and Tyler Daniels sits in fifth. The top 6 separated only by 10 points. The top 10 really separated only by 13 points. A tight race here 2 weeks in to the Tyler Daniels Racing League of Legends. It'll be interesting to see how this point battle shakes up, as Eric Sellers and looks as though he did not make the starting grid this week. Neither did Dylan McLean. So we could see some changes in the top 10. Back out front, we've got Lee Walker pacing the field as we are under caution. Lap 22 of 80 in the books. It's Walker, Ricky, Steele, Johnson, Matherly, your top 5. Kevin Blackburn has worked his way into the 6th spot after starting 12th. David Trumbley 7th after starting 10th. Andy Shainer has moved from 17th to the 8th spot, with Joey Lowry 9th and Parnelli Belair rounding out the top 10. Legends cars will be racing at the Bull Ring next week in Las Vegas, as Lee Walker leads them out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway. Walker hammers the throttle. Adam Ricky takes the high line. Looks like he's going to try to make a move on Walker on the outside. Ricky with a nice drive out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Adam Ricky trying to make his way around the 363 of Lee Walker. Walker has led every lap of this race so far, and he will lead lap number 24, but Ricky gets a great run down into turn 1. Now out of 2 onto the back straightaway, the 32 of Eric Steele also mixing it up with the leaders, as Walker on the inside, Ricky on the outside, out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway. At the line, it's going to be Adam Ricky with the lead. Adam Ricky leads for the first time this race, but Lee Walker pulls back in front coming out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Now into 3. Lee Walker looks like he's going to lead lap number 26, and he does. It's Walker, Ricky, Steele, Johnson, David Trumbley closing in on this lead pack, as we've got some action up front. Lee Walker manages to pull away from the 32 of Steele and the 2 of Ricky. Ricky now on the outside, stuck up high above Eric Steele. It's Steele on the inside, Ricky on the outside, Aaron Johnson behind those 2 cars, as we've got lots of action on the speedway. Eric Steele to the inside, Ricky to the outside. Adam Ricky making that high line work, trying to find his way around the 32 of Steele. As Steele and Ricky race, the 363 of Lee Walker begins to pull away. Johnson closes in. Now David Trumbley closes in. We've got a 4-car battle for second between Steele, Ricky, Johnson, and Trumbley. Down the back straightaway, Eric Steele pulls ahead of Adam Ricky. Johnson backs off and looks like he's going to allow Adam Ricky to get in line, as these 4 cars are losing contact with the leader, Lee Walker. That hard racing gives Walker an advantage. He's got about an 8-car length lead over the 32 of Eric Steele. Walker leading the field as they come down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Lap 32 of 80 is underway. Lee Walker beginning to close in on the 05 of Parnelli Belair. Let's walk back through the starting field and take a look at action on the speedway. Lee Walker leads. Behind Walker, it's the 32 of Eric Steele. Steele, your fast lap time sitter today. He was fastest in practice, currently running second. Adam Ricky was the 4th fastest time in practice. Johnson was 3rd, and Lee Walker 2nd. So the top 4 cars on the field, also the top 4 practice times. Behind Adam Ricky, it's the 00 of Johnson. Johnson, your current point leader. Behind him, David Trumbley, who currently sits 2nd in the points. So the drivers that are 1st and 2nd in the points are now 4th and 5th on the speedway. Behind Trumbley, it's the 77 of Kevin Blackburn. Kevin from Georgia running in the Poppin' Chubby's Barbecue Legends car. Behind Blackburn, that's the 310 of Joey Lowry. Lowry having a nice run today. Started out in the 14th spot and spins. Lowry spins. That's trouble for the 310 of Joey Lowry. Bad break. Just as we started to say something good about Lowry, he went around. Behind the 77 now is the 28 of Jim Downham. Downham has worked his way back up to 8th after having a little trouble early when the 57 of Love had some issues. Behind Downham, the 118 of Dennis Stepanich Jr. Dennis sits in the 8th spot. Behind Dennis, it's the My Little Pony car of Keith Fonseca. Fonseca trying to hold off the charging Gravedigger car of Dominic Moss. Moss currently now in the 9th spot. Moss making his way around the 71 of Fonseca. Just behind them, it's the 7 of Andy Shainer. Shainer putting a pass on Fonseca. That'll move Shainer up into the top 10. And just behind Shainer, it's the 25 of Tyler Daniels. Daniels currently sits 11th. Fonseca now getting shuffled back to the 12th spot. Behind Keith Fonseca, we're back to the 16 of Fisher. Fisher involved in that incident earlier under caution with Daniels and Matherly. Behind those cars, it's the 57 of Jim Love. Love currently shown in 14th on the lead lap. Just behind him, it's the 13 of Jonathan Humphrey. Humphrey also shown on the lead lap. Behind them, it's the 310 of Joey Lowry and the 05 of Parnelli Belair. Belair, the last car on the lead lap. He is trying to hold off the 363 of Lee Walker. Walker running a nice race today. Very quick, nice smooth line. Can Parnelli Belair get by the 310 of Lowry, put some distance between himself and the 363? Lowry and Belair touch. 363, that's Walker gets underneath Joey Lowry. Walker going to put Lowry a lap down. That will leave 15 cars on the lead lap. Lee Walker leads. He's closing on the 05 of Parnelli Belair. It's Walker out front. Eric Steele in second. Steele a couple of car lengths back. Behind them in the 14, Aaron Johnson, the 00, has gotten by the 2 of Adam Rickey. Johnson closing on the leaders. There are 36 to go here. It's Lee Walker out front, followed by Steele, Johnson, Rickey, and David Trumbley. Walker leads, but Eric Steele has closed in and is starting to put the pressure on the 363 of Walker. Walker into turn 3 now through the center of 3 and 4 out onto the front straightaway, extends the lead slightly. Steele lower out of turn 4, closes in. Looks like Steele's going to get a fender underneath Walker. It's going to be Eric Steele taking the lead. 34 laps to go. Eric Steele is your leader. We've got a new leader. Johnson also looks to the inside of Lee Walker. Manages to get a run out of turn 4, now into turn number 1 side by side. Johnson going to complete the pass on Lee Walker. Walker turns down, looks like he's going to try that crossover move, but no dice. It's going to be the 32 of Eric Steele, the 00 of Johnson, and then Lee Walker in third. Just behind them, Adam Rickey is in fourth, and Kevin Blackburn has worked his way into the top 5. Up front, it's the 32 of Eric Steele, followed by the 00 of Johnson, then Walker, Rickey, Blackburn, and Trumbley. It's a 6-car battle up front. It's a significant gap from the 96 of Trumbley back to the 118 of Stepanich. Walker continues to hold the lead over Johnson. Let's go back through the field and have a look at what's going on elsewhere on the speedway. Currently in the 5th spot, is the 77 of Blackburn. Blackburn and Trumbley racing hard. That's a 2-point gap between the points leader Johnson. A 4-point gap between the points leader Johnson and the 96 of Trumbley. Trumbley looking to the inside of 05. That's Parnelli Belair. Trumbley sitting in 6th with 29 laps to go. Behind that group, the 118 of Dennis Stepanich Jr. runs 7th. Then the Gravedigger car of Dominic Moss in 8th. Tyler Daniels in 9th, and Jim Downham rounding out the top 10. Andy Shainer puts a move on Daniel, tries to find his way, on Downham, tries to find his way under. Shainer pushes up just a little in the middle of the corner, but manages to complete the pass. Andy Shainer will move into the top 10. Behind Shainer and Downham, Jim Love is recovering from that terrible start. Love has worked his way back into the 12th spot. Jim Love doing a nice job in the suicide prevention Legends car. Behind Love, it's the My Little Pony car of Keith Fonseca in 13th, followed by Fish Fisher in 14th. The 35 of Matherly, 4 laps down. The last car on the lead lap here is the 13 of Jonathan Humphrey. Behind the 13 of Humphrey, we're back around to the leader, Eric Steele. There are 25 laps to go in this 80-lap race. Eric Steele beginning to extend the lead over the 00 of Johnson. Steele with about a 4-car length lead. Johnson about 4.5 car lengths ahead of Lee Walker. Just behind Walker, Adam Rickey putting some pressure on that 363 car. Lee Walker runs third, Rickey runs fourth. Rickey trying to find his way around the 363, looks low to the inside, no dice as Lee Walker gets a good drive out of turn number 4. Down into 1 and 2, it's going to be Lee Walker followed by Rickey for 3rd and 4th spot. Just behind those drivers, it looks like the 96 of David Trumbley has worked his way past the 77 of Kevin Blackburn. So Trumbley, who currently sits 2nd in the points, now at a 3-point disadvantage to the point leader Johnson. It's early in the season, but David Trumbley trying to grab every point he can out front. It's still the 32 of Eric Steele. Steele closing in on lap traffic. The 16 of Fish Fisher gives the leaders plenty of room. Steele now closing on Jonathan Humphrey. Humphrey takes the car up high to give the leaders plenty of space. Eric Steele goes by on the low side. Johnson to the inside of Humphrey. Humphrey stays up high. It's Steele and Johnson 1-2. There are 20 laps to go. Eric Steele with a 4-car length advantage over the 00 of Johnson. Looks like the 7 of Andy Shainer manages to go around backward, gets up against the back wall. No caution. The field will stay green. That single car incident does not bring out the yellow flag. Eric Steele leads. There are 19 to go. Steele closing on the 71 of Fonseca. That lap traffic may come into play as the leaders close in on Fonseca and Jim Downham. Eric Steele's closed on to Keith Fonseca. Looks to the inside. Fonseca gives Steele the low line. The low way is the fast way at Lanier. Johnson also making his way past the 71 of Fonseca. Johnson a little wiggly because he comes out, had to turn the car down low to stay clear of Fonseca. That's going to give Eric Steele about a 4-car length advantage. 17 laps to go. Eric Steele with the lead, followed by Johnson, then Walker, Rickey, and Trumbley. 32 of Eric Steele looks underneath Jim Downham. Downham currently in the 11th spot. 10 cars remain on the lead lap. Eric Steele leads the field. Johnson slides, does a little bit of a slide job there on the 28 of Downham. And Eric Steele is extending that lead. Eric Steele now with a 5-car length, maybe a 5.5-car length advantage over Johnson. 15 laps to go. Eric Steele looks like he may be beginning to pull away from the 00 car as Lee Walker starts to close on the 00 of Aaron Johnson. Out front, Eric Steele running a nice, smooth race. He leads. Johnson 2nd, Walker 3rd, Rickey 4th, Trumbley 5th. Looks like the field's getting a little tighter back here between Walker, Trumbley, and Rickey as Adam Rickey puts some pressure on the 363 of Walker. Walker has, as you remember, led about the first 40 laps of this race before being passed by Eric Steele somewhere around lap 50, 45 or 50. It's the 363 of Walker, the 2 of Rickey, the 96 of Trumbley. Those cars running 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Out front, it's still the 32 of Eric Steele. The lead between Steele and Johnson seems to have stabilized at about 4.5 car lengths. There will be 10 to go next time by. If Aaron Johnson's got anything left, it's time for him to show his cards because Eric Steele is running an excellent race. 10 to go. Johnson down into turn number 1. Looks like he may have actually closed a little on Eric Steele. Johnson about 4.5 car lengths back. Steele still out front. Johnson very good through the center of 3 and 4. Lets the car drift up high out of 4. Aaron Johnson is closing. He's about 3 car lengths behind the 32 of Eric Steele. Now about 2.5 behind. Aaron Johnson beginning to close on the 32 of Eric Steele. Johnson down into turn number 3. Very good through the center. Steele gets sideways. Eric Steele gets sideways. Aaron Johnson is going to go by on the outside. Is he going to complete the pass? There's 8 laps to go. Aaron Johnson takes advantage of a miscue to take the lead. Johnson outside goes around now in turn number 3 onto the center of 3 and 4. Eric Steele gets a nice run through the middle of the corner. Looks like he's going to get a run off of 4. It's going to be Eric Steele to the inside. Are we going to have another pass? Steele on the inside, Johnson on the outside. The lead's already changed hands once in the last 10 laps. Looks like Eric Steele's going to drive it deep into turn number 3. Johnson on the high side. Johnson lets the car drift up. Eric Steele is going to take the lead. There are 6 laps to go. We have a new leader, Eric Steele, back out front after surrendering the lead to Johnson about 3 laps ago. Steele 1, Johnson 2. Aaron Johnson about a car length and a half behind, closes in on the 32 of Steele. They're going to be 5 to go this time by. The 363 of Walker is coming as well. Walker, Ricci, and Trumbley closing on the leaders as the leaders have been fighting side by side. 5 to go. Johnson looks to the inside. No dice. They come through the center of 3 and 4. Johnson looks to the outside of the 32 of Steele. Doesn't have enough race car to get it done. Four laps to go. Johnson, Steele, racing for the lead. Eric Steele leads Johnson down the back straightaway. Johnson gets a run. He's got a fender inside Steele as they go into turn number 3. Johnson on the throttle hard. The 2 cars side by side. You couldn't put a fire hydrant between them. Johnson on the inside as they go into turn number 1, trying to make the pass on Eric Steele. Steele on the outside. The 363 of Walker and the 2 of Ricky are closing. Johnson and Steele side by side again, down into 3. Johnson slips up. Steele slides down just a little bit. Side by side, racing at its finest at Lanier National. There are 2 laps to go in the middle of 1 and 2. Johnson and Steele side by side. Now down the back straightaway. It's Johnson, Steele, Lee Walker into the picture, as is Adam Ricky and David Tremblay. We've got 5 cars that can win. Johnson and Steele touch. They touch. Steele slides up a little high. Johnson's a little low. They come past the start-finish line. Johnson leads that lap. It's Aaron Johnson on the inside, Eric Steele on the outside. Adam Ricky looks to this. Ricky spins. Ricky spins as he tries to go around the 363 of Walker. Johnson's going to hold on to the lead as they come out of turn 4. It's going to be Aaron Johnson with the win at Lanier National Speedway. The 32 of Eric Steele will come home second. Lee Walker third. David Tremblay fourth. Kevin Blackburn will be fifth. Adam Ricky, it looks like, will come home seventh behind the 19 of Dominic Moss in sixth. Woo! Behind Ricky, it's the 118 of Stepanich, then Tyler Daniels in ninth, and Jim Love rebounds to take a top 10 finish. Behind them, it'll be the 05 of Parnelli Belair, followed by the 28 of Downham, then Humphrey, Fonseca, Fisher, Shainer, Matherly, Lowry, and Les Bentz, rounding out the top 20. Boy, ladies and gentlemen, it does not get any more exciting than that. What a fantastic finish from Lanier National Speedway. Aaron Johnson makes a last lap pass to take the win from Eric Steele. Let's have a look at the point standings after this race and see what we can see with respect to any changes that might have taken place. After week 3, it looks like Aaron Johnson's extended his points lead. He now has an 8-point lead over David Trumbley. Lee Walker has hopped up into the 3rd spot. You know what, let's just go ahead and put the second week standings up there as well. Walker's hopped up into the 3rd spot from 6th. Anthony Hooker's going to drop to 14th. It looks like Adam Ricci's going to jump up into the 5th spot from 8th. Then Dominic Moss will be in 6th from 11th last week, so a little bit of movement there. Behind them, Jim Love was going to stay in the 7th position. Kevin Blackburn will be in 8th spot. That's going to be moving up from 12th. And then in the 10th position will be Eric Steele. Eric Steele hops to 10th after having been in the 14th spot last week. So a little bit of shakeup in the points. The top 2 remain unchanged. That'll be Aaron Johnson and David Tremblay will continue to lead the points in the Tyler Daniels Racing League of Legends. Next week, the Legends cars will go to the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for another exciting feature event. If you'd like to join Tyler Daniels Racing League of Legends, go to the TDR Facebook page, join the Facebook page, then go to tylerdracing.com, click on Leagues, find League of Legends, and ask to be invited. We'll get you an invite, and you can come and race with this excellent group of iRacing Legends Cars drivers. For Tyler Daniels Racing and for the Johnson iRacing team, this is Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.